What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman, aka Allfires. Now, I got super excited as I sat down to do this video because I realized we hadn't covered anything like this in quite a long time, and that's because with the actors and writers strike, nothing's been filming. But today we have a huge industry insider update, new details about the villain for Deadpool 3, and even more details about a specific scene that apparently they just filmed. We're going to break down where it came from, what they exactly said. We're also going to add a little greater context to this film because they think, especially now that all those obviously fake plot leaks have completely grinded to a halt, there are still a lot of question marks as to who the real villain in the film is and where most of this film will take place. We'll talk about it because there may be some clues in this scene. We're breaking it all down, the latest updates and industry insider details for specifics for the upcoming Deadpool and Wolverine. But first, if you could grab the subscribe button, we do daily Marvel content at the channel, and that's all we do. Everything from official Easter egg breakdowns, trailers, and reviews to the occasional industry insider report and everything in between. So if that sort of thing's for you, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below. That will automatically enter you to win our ongoing PS5 giveaway. The next one is right around the corner to coincide with the release of Echo next week. Again, all you got to do, be a subscriber, leave a comment on this video if you want, stick around to the end of the video. We get into all the giveaway stuff again there. Okay, so first up, the normal spoiler warning as it pertains to this kind of content at the channel when we cover it. Remember to take everything that doesn't come from Marvel Studios with a grain of salt, especially stuff posted to 4chan and Reddit where we picked up today's story. However, the genesis of today's scoop is actually the trusted industry insider source that you can follow over on Twitter at CanWeGetSomeToast, who has a proven track record at this point. So if you want to go into the unknown, not known, I ain't mad at you. Come back and see us after the film comes out. We'll still be here. In the meantime, we're going to dive right into these latest updates. Okay, they start by confirming that Corrin is playing Cassandra Nova and give us an update by saying, quote, that she'll look just like the comics in Deadpool 3. She'll have her iconic bald head, a brown trench coat, high-waisted tan pants, and a brown belt. And on top of her telekinetic abilities, she'll be able to open up portals. They then say a chase scene was recently filmed in the UK that was made to look like New York City, with Cassandra Nova chasing Wolverine and Deadpool with her portals. Now, from the comics, Cassandra Nova, that's the Mumadry, that is the opposite and equal, the antithesis of Professor X. We've covered her at the channel, and if you want a full update on that villain, I will link that video at the end of this and down in the description. We did a full backdrop on her. You can learn all about her. In the meantime, her being able to open up portals, while it wasn't exactly part of her power set per se, would actually track, and let me explain. One of her specific powers is the ability to manipulate her DNA to be able to mimic the powers of others. So say she were fighting against someone like Doctor Strange, her opening up portals like that sort of could make sense, even though, again, it's not in her power set per se. But when he says portals, I want to be clear, I'm thinking that's a lot more in line with something that Doctor Strange or say Wong could do, localized to that universe, maybe even to adjacent realms, but definitely not something like, say, America Chavez would do with opening up portals to the multiverse. Which would also help with the plot device, though, if she was multiverse traveling, but I think that's something unique to America Chavez, and I don't think that they're going to say right off the bat that Cassandra Nova with her portals is the reason they end up in the 616. But notice I mentioned the 616, and let me explain why. One of the only official promos we've seen for Deadpool and Wolverine, something we did cover here at the channel, is this image, published in Total Film magazine. Now, I saw people when this first came out, and people are still saying that they think that this is Angel or Archangel in the background, proof of further X-Men, but if you look at this scene, it's a bunch of skyscrapers, maybe clearly New York, and that is not Archangel or Angel. From the wing silhouette, that's clearly Sam Wilson or Sam Wilson's cap. If you look closely at the top of the surrounding skyscrapers, if that's Sam Wilson's cap, there's a good chance that these are Avengers, say like a Doctor Strange. So there's a good chance that this could be in the 616 with the Avengers, and Doctor Strange's ability to open up portals would explain how Cassandra Nova is doing that and during this scene. Now, of course, this movie is going to span the multiverse, which means this could be in some other New York City with a Cassandra Nova. It doesn't have to necessarily be the 616. Why do a Deadpool 3, and if you're going to have them jumping the multiverse, not have them end there? Some of the earliest plot leaks that I mentioned during the prologue, which I think clearly at this point were completely off base, said something about them not coming to the 616 until the end of the film. I argue the film would be a lot cooler and have a lot more stakes if they make their way in, at least in the middle of Act 2, and the rest of the film is based here. And since we know this is the only film they're putting out next year, yeah, there's a good shot they're going to go over the top with the cameos and go all in. Remember, one of Kevin Feige's earliest quotes, and only quotes about Deadpool 3 officially, was they wanted to elevate it to the level of, say, a third movie like Captain America Civil War, and well, clearly there's going to be a lot of cameos in the film. That said, if this scene truly takes place in New York with Cassandra Nova Nova opening up portals. Perhaps this is the New York scene where we'll also see Avengers, and maybe this takes place, say, in the second act and in the 616. We had heard that the villain of Deadpool 3 was going to be a 616 villain. Then we heard that Emma Corrin had signed on to play the villain, and then the scoop said that she was playing Cassandra Nova was basically confirmed by everybody at the same time. So the way you reconcile those two scoops is you simply put Emma Corrin in the 616. I think ultimately that gives the movie the best stakes and the most connective tissue to the MCU, and also goes ahead and finally introduces some of these characters to X-Men in our own universe. We've seen it already in the MCU, but it's always in another part of the multiverse, at the end of Multiverse of Madness or at the end of the Marvels. Why not just go ahead and do this in Deadpool 3? And when you think about it, Marvel being comfortable making this the only film next year makes even more sense if you think about them adding some semblance of an Avengers team, or at least crossing those major characters over with Deadpool and Wolverine when they finally get into the 616 and during the film. There's one other thing that I want to acknowledge at the end of this film, because we haven't had a chance to talk about Deadpool and Wolverine in a while. Haven't really been any scoops, and news has been focused on a ton of other things, namely the Fantastic Four and of course what's going on with the two Avengers films and Kang, is that a couple of you have been DMing me or asking me down in the comments about supposed drama that might be going on behind the scenes with either between Ryan Reynolds or Marvel, or Ryan Reynolds and Disney, or the Deadpool production. By all accounts and by people in the know, the production is now ahead of schedule and on par to release with its current release date, and there have been no problems outside of the delays because of the actors and writers strike. The script has been said to be awesome on all accounts and from the beginning, and with a clear vision of what they wanted to do with the film. It doesn't sound like many rewrites or pivots have been needed, or at least not for other films, say like Captain America Brave New World, that found itself with a major name change and a ton of reshoots after principal photography was done. That being said, we still have a lot of time before this movie comes out. Plenty of time for Marvel to delay it, plenty of time for them to interject reshoots. You know, Marvel could be a lot of that, but by all other accounts, it sounds like it's on great footing. Fingers crossed that means there's a trailer around the corner. Guys, let me know all your thoughts down below, especially about bringing Deadpool and Wolverine into the 616 during the film. Doesn't it make the most sense? I'm all ears. Quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. Alright, we are still giving away PlayStation 5s at the channel. The next one is right around the corner to coincide with Echo's drop next week. If you want to be entered to win, super simple. All you got to do, hit the subscribe button, then leave a comment down below, because it's truly random. The more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. All winners will be announced at the end of videos, the same way we're doing here. The best way to keep up with the content has always been to hit the notification bell with all notifications turned on. And as always, if you liked today's video, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit the like button. My name's Michael Roman. You can find me in a couple of places, Instagram and Twitter at I'mFires. You can also find me on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, Apple, iTunes, wherever you listen to original music under the name All Fires. And while I sincerely appreciate you checking my music out, thanks for checking this channel out. Stick around. We'll be posting again real soon.